Young. Look, when we spoke to you last, you were considering the appeal on Jack Senior. You obviously haven't. Just walk us through the thought process there.
Yeah, I spoke to Mike Jones the morning after the game, just to get his opinion on it, and I speak to Mike quite regularly, really, about things and referees and decisions that go against us or not, and not just when we lose a game. When we win a game, I always like to get a little bit of feedback from him, and his opinion really on Jack's tackle was it was a scissor tackle, and if he hadn't brought his right leg through with his left, then he thinks we may have had a chance of an appeal. But as it happened, it looked, like I said, probably after the game, I think it looked probably worse than what it was on video. And Jack's adamant that he got the ball, but it doesn't help with the players obviously turned his back on Jack as he's tackled it, which makes it look a little bit worse. So we decided not to. We didn't want to. What Mike was saying, look, if they think you're wasting their time, there's a possibility they could add another game onto it. So I didn't want to do that to Jack, really. So I had a chat with Jack and told him our reasoning, and he was fine with it. So it is what it is.
On this side, speaking to other managers this week who've had different disciplinary issues and cause for, speaking to referees and the powers that be. Where does it go, as it were? Do you ever get to a stage where you think, well, actually, that conversation made a situation better and it hasn't happened again?
Yeah, I mean, look, Mike's quite a fair guy, and I think he supports the referees and he's there to help them. But he's also, there's been times where decisions have gone against us, and Mike agrees that they've gone against us, and he's put me on the phone to that referee, and that's good. I like that, and we can speak and we can say, look, you've cost us a moment. I actually spoke to him again about the Owen Bailey booking in the game. It just wasn't the Jack Senior tackle, but the Owen Bailey booking, where he's been booked for kicking the ball away or delaying a restart. And I said, look, Mike, please do me a favour, just watch that incident back. As the ball drops to Owen Bailey, he's not the one that makes the tackle. It drops to him as he blows his whistle and he clears the ball and the referee books him. I said, look, that's a big moment. I know it's not a game-changing moment or a defining moment in a match that you would probably call it, but I feel it is, because that's our midfield player who is all action is now on a yellow card because the ball falls to him as you've blown the whistle and he clears it. The same thing happens to the Accrington player, the Morecambe player 3-4 minutes later, and they don't book him. And it's like, these things can get me annoyed as a manager. I know managers do get annoyed by the inconsistency at times, and I said that to Mike on the phone, and he agreed with me. So it's just really having a decent dialogue with him. It's not me phoning him all the time and moaning, because I don't want to be doing that. I just want to get an opinion on things so I can understand the rules better as well, and we can take it further from there, really.
Fairly or unfairly, that's 6 red cards for the season, and I know that a few of them are yellows, upgraded. How can you combat that? Change it? Have a word with the players? Can anything be done?
Yeah, well, some of them's been, we've mentioned this before, some of them's been very, very avoidable. Some has been really, really harsh, like Harry Clifton, for example, at MK Dons. Jack, obviously, look, we haven't appealed this one because it is what it is. It's a fine balance, really, Andy. I'm asking my players to be aggressive and to be, to win duels and to win things, but you're always treading a fine line with things. Whether for me as a manager, I'm not ever going to tell my player, look, be careful when you tackle because you may get sent off. That's not the way we work. You just hope that these things you can get the rub of the green on some of them. I think some of the sending offs this season have been very avoidable. Some stupidity in there as well from us, but also, like the Jack Senior one, when it's a scissor action, we know that But then again, if you look back at the Grimsby game, Danny Rose has the same tackle on Jamie Sterry, scissor tackle right in the byline, yellow card. So there is inconsistencies in it. We just got to try and stay calm and hopefully, we get the rub of the green. The referee gives us the decision that we need. But everybody's in the same boat, I think. I think if you speak to managers up and down the country, they speak about that. The inconsistency at times can drive you a bit mad.
Sure it can. So, is the plan then to patch Maxwell up then and make sure his little toe is completely numbed for 90 minutes, or might Nixon play?
Difficult one, really. He's not trained all week, James, because he needs an injection to train. He had an injection yesterday to try and train, and the injection wore off very, very quickly, and he had to come back in. He's not trained today, but we'll give him every opportunity. But we also got to be mindful that he's not trained on the grass with the team. Nico's not feeling too good. He's got a bit of sickness and diarrhoea. Again, we'll give him the best opportunity to be fit because he's a robust type of kid. Positive news is Richard Wood will be back involved in and around the squad. Jay McGrath's back, has trained the last 2 or 3 days. But Jack and Tom, we've just got to wait and see. I can't really give you an answer today. We've got to see how they are overnight, how the injection settles, Maxie's foot, and how Tom feels overnight.
However, the fact that Richard is back and involved, how key is that, given what he's done for Doncaster Rovers?
Yeah, he's still nowhere near match fit, really. Nowhere near starting the game or anything like that. But to have him in and around the 21-man squad that we always travel to games with will be really important. You know, obviously he was at the Morecambe game the other night, and he did a bit more work for us really upstairs, and just passing some of his information that he sees to us at half time. But having him in and around the group is great, and the boys, you know, love having him around. So yeah, him involved tomorrow. He's not, like I say, he's not ready to go and start a game. If we feel he's ready to be on the bench, then there's no doubt he can give us a bit towards the end of the game. But yeah, it's just trying to find the balance, really. How long do you wait? You know, Woody's one of these guys that knows his own body, knows when he's right, knows when he's fit. Ideally, he probably needs 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks training, a couple of bounce games in the training ground. But with the amount of games we have had at the moment, it's very, very difficult to arrange things like that.
So Accrington then next. Whenever you think about Accrington, you always think first and foremost about the opening day of the season, and not just the win, but the goals and the manner of the win over Accrington back in August. When you think about that, how impressed were you that day? I mean, each goal was beautifully crafted that day, wasn't it?
I can't even think that far back, to be honest with you.
Well, it was.
I remember the result. I can't remember anything really about the game. I do remember the good goals from Molyneux and Gibson and things like that, but can't really remember the actual game and what happened in the game. But look, for us, there's a lot's happened since then. I think Accrington have done pretty well, to be honest with you. I know they've not been so good in recent weeks, but I think what they've got is a team that works and runs and fights, and that's bred through the Accrington way, between Jed and John, the managers there, and what they do with the players, and it's what they're about. So we know it's going to be a really, really tough game. It always is when you go to Accrington. Always is, regardless whether Accrington's in League 2 or League 1. When I've played against them, it's a tough place to go. So we got to be ready for that. Good thing is we feel like it's probably one of the best playing surfaces in the league. So it'll be a lot different to Morecambe. So hopefully that gives us a bit more conducive for us to get the ball and play how I know we can. But ultimately, like I said after the game, it's really about the 3 points, and that's what we'll be chasing.